This conference will now be recorded.
Okay. Good morning, friends. In this Business Intelligence Master program, so in this particular session, we are going to see loading data from Snowflake to Azure Data Lake Storage Gen2 and vice versa, meaning how you can copy data from Snowflake to Azure Data Lake Storage Gen2 in the same way how you can copy data from ADLS Gen2 to the Snowflake. Not only this, we are going to see how you can copy data from Blob to Snowflake, Snowflake to Blob storage. So we have some kind of restrictions. We cannot directly load data into the Azure Data Lake Storage Gen2. In the same way, when you are copying data from Snowflake to the Data Lake Storage Gen2, you cannot load data directly into Data Lake Storage Gen2 and vice versa, meaning when you are loading data from ADLS Gen2 to the Snowflake, here also you cannot load directly. Okay, in this case also, it will not possible to load data from Snowflake to ADLS Gen2 directly. Okay, you need to use something called staging layer here. In the same way here also, when you are loading data from Data Lake Storage Gen2 to the Snowflake, it is not possible directly. You need to use a staging layer. In this Snowflake support staging layer. If you want to use, you have to use blob storage. Even Data Lake Storage Gen2 also will not support as a staging layer in Snowflake. Okay, so we'll see when you are copying to the Snowflake. In today's session, we will see scenarios and we will talk about what is Snowflake and estimations, prerequisite, required resources, all these things we know. Then with respect to demo, we will see how to create Snowflake free trial account. Okay, so because this is some 30 days free trial you will get. So we will see how you can create Snowflake free trial account. And then we are going to see how to create database tables in Snowflake. Okay, we are going to create the database tables in a Snowflake. How you can create it is very easy, friends, to create. So there are different ways. From the UI you can create it. Otherwise you can just use like query editor to fire your queries to create database tables. Okay, next we will see how to create data lake storage Gen2. We know all this. Then we will see how to create blob v2. So we are going to create the blob as well, because as I mentioned earlier, not only copying data from ADLS Gen2 to the Snowflake to ADLS Gen2, we are also going to learn how you can copy data from Snowflake to blob to Snowflake. There is a difference when you are copying data from Snowflake to ADLS Gen2, Snowflake to blob storage. Those differences also we will see. Next, we will see create Azure Data Factory v2. We will create ADF v2, and we will create linked services with the help of keywords. Snowflake linked service we will create, then data sets, pipeline. And once we have created the pipeline, I want to run a pipeline with a trigger, and finally I want to monitor that particular pipeline. Okay, fine. Scenarios, as I mentioned, right? So copy data from Snowflake to ADLS Gen2 using Blob as a staging. No other storage will support as a staging. You have to use blob as a staging. Okay, next, vice versa also. So if you want to load data from ADLS Gen2 to Snowflake, you need to use the blob storage. Without using blob storage, it is not possible to load data directly into Snowflake. Okay, next we will use copy activity in today's session. Then one more thing, you cannot create a linked service to blob storage using account key. If you are trying to create a linked service with account key, that kind of linked service will not work in that kind of linked service will not work in Snowflake. Okay, so you need to use a SaaS URI. We already know how you can use shared access signature URI to create the linked service. So that particular SaaS URI we are going to use to create the linked service for Blob. Next, copy data from Snowflake to Blob directly. So when you are copying data from Snowflake to Blob or Blob to Snowflake, directly you can able to do. Okay, directly you can able to do, but with respect to the ADLS Gen2, that is not possible. Okay, fine. So what is Snowflake? So exactly it's a data warehouse, friends, but based on the cloud platform. You see, Snowflake is a cloud-based data warehouse solution which is offered on multiple cloud platforms. So it's basically a data warehouse solution. Now we have Azure SQL data warehouse. We talked about Azure SQL data warehouse. We have loaded data by using bulk insert, by using Polybase, right? So now in the same way, so Snowflake is also a cloud-based data warehouse solution, but it has some extra features. See, which is offered on multiple cloud platforms. What it means, Snowflake, if you want to host it on Azure, you can host. Snowflake, if you want to host it on AWS, you can do that. Snowflake, if you want to host on Google Cloud, it is possible. Everything is possible. So when you are creating Snowflake itself, it will ask you, so on which cloud you want to host this particular Snowflake. Okay, next, once we have configured your account and created some tables, okay, let's say I have created this particular data warehouse, and in this data warehouse it's RDBMS again, right? So we'll have database tables. Let's say once you have created the database and tables, so what you will do basically, you want to move this particular data from Snowflake to some third-party applications or from other storage to the Snowflake. So this is what you wanted to do. See, once you configured your account and created some tables, you might most likely have to get data into your data warehouse. That is nothing but into your Snowflake. But sometimes you also have to export data from Snowflake to another source. For example, providing data for third-party applications. Okay, so you want to bring data into Snowflake. In the same way, you want to export data from Snowflake to some other third-party applications. Okay, so for this, what you can do, you can write there some Python code, but Python code is not recommended, so we are going with the Azure Data Factory. See, if you are invested in the Azure stack, so I'm going to create a Snowflake on Azure cloud. Okay, when you select Azure stack, you might want to use Azure tools to get the data in and out, meaning to load data into Snowflake or to export data from Snowflake. What you are going to use, you are going to use some Azure tools. Okay, so instead of hand coding a solution in Python or any Scala or some other languages, for example, what you can do is the main tool in Azure to move data around is Azure Data Factory. So we were seeing, right, so since last 40 days, like we say 40th session, right? So since as of today, we were seeing by using Azure Data Factory, we are moving data from different between the storages, databases, on-premise and public cloud. So all these things we have done. Okay, so here also whatever data we have in Snowflake, if you want to export to some other third-party applications or from storages, if you want to load data into Snowflake, we can use the Azure Data Factory. Okay, fine. So what is Snowflake and versus other OLAP systems? Let's say I have a this Snowflake and you have a data warehouse, and in AWS that is called a Redshift, in Google it's a BigQuery, right? So let's say, see, you have all these are the data warehouse like OLAP systems. Okay, in AWS we have something called Amazon Redshift. In Azure we have a Azure's data warehouse. In Google Cloud we have something called Google BigQuery. So these are the, we have a data warehouses in different cloud, but we have a Snowflake which you can able to host it on any cloud which has all these features. If you look at Redshift, Azure data warehouse, BigQuery, some of the some of the features are missing. Like that's why Google Cloud nobody is selecting. You see very limited. See here, there are three right marks, right? What it means, there are three options available, but Azure Data Warehouse has four options. Here you have two options. But if you go with the Snowflake, it has all the options enabled. What is that? First, broad performance across a range of relational queries. So you can able to fire a multiple SQL queries. You can able to fire some relational queries at a time on a multiple databases. Next, concurrent throughput. So throughput means high performance. Throughput means the, like, you know, right, the how much speed you are able to pull data into your maybe you can say how quickly you are loading data into Snowflake, how quickly you are reading data from the Snowflake. Okay, that is the throughput. Let's say it's 50 MB per second, something like that. Okay, you will see that is called a throughput. High performance for JSON scan. Suppose you have some JSON data, if you want to scan, it will be very fast here, but here it is very slow. But again, Google BigQuery is fast. Concurrent throughput for JSON. So concurrent throughput means parallelly, even though when you are using parallelism, you will get high throughput in Snowflake, but nowhere you are going to get that. Scalable to handle large concurrent mix, single DW. So large concurrent mix means multiple parallel execution you can do. Those are basically large concurrent mix means we have a multiple big queries. Okay, see, BigQuery is not supporting, but your data warehouse and Redshift will support. Scale up, down, or off quickly without delay. So if you want to turn off your data warehouse to save cost, that is possible in Snowflake. That is not possible in Redshift. But if you remember in Azure Data Warehouse, I have shown you the option called pause and resume. There are options you can able to use those options to turn off. Okay, we have a Google BigQuery here also you can able to do, but you have some limits. Multi-warehouse concurrency against same data. See here you have no, but you can create a multiple data warehouses in a same account. Okay, I will show you all those things in detail, don't worry. But you see here, ultimately you need to understand there are a lot of new features which are available only in Snowflake. So these options not available even in Redshift and Azure Data Warehouse and BigQuery. Nowhere you have all these options available, right? So that's why we need to go to the Snowflake data warehouse. Now you see URL for this lab. The important URL is we need to create the Snowflake free trial account. Okay, how you can create? You need to access this particular URL, signup.snowflake.com. Okay, next, copy data from Snowflake to Blob. Suppose if you want to copy data from Snowflake to Blob, so yeah, you need to enable few things. That I will show you when I am copying the data, because if I explain now, I'm not sure how much you can able to understand. So what happens is whenever you are copying data, delimiter will be identified automatically. Auto detect. Delimiter is auto detect by default. Okay, if you want to if you want to copy data from Snowflake to Blob, you should not say the delimiter is auto finding. Okay, you need to change that auto delimiter to the specific delimiter you need to mention. That is the first thing. Second thing, when you are copying data from Snowflake to Blob linked service should be a SaaS URI. Third one, when you are copying data from Snowflake to Blob, the third condition is, let's say you have CSV file, you want to write it as a CSV. In that case also, you should not check first row as header. That option also you should not do. These three conditions you need to follow. I'm repeating again. First one is delimiter, you need to specify. You should not leave it as a default. Second one is Blob linked service should be a SaaS URI. Third one is going to be what is the third one? Linked service SaaS URI. I explained this one. Yeah, third one is first row as header. You should not check. Okay. So those things we will discuss, but how you will copy, basically same thing. In a Snowflake, we have a customer table that I want to load it into Blob storage. First create a linked service, but yeah, this linked service I will explain. This is a completely new. Then you will create input data set. You will use copy activity. Now I will select the output data set. But if I want to create output data set, I need to create a linked service for my Blob storage. This linked service should be what? SaaS URI. Okay, with SaaS URI, you need to create the linked service to Blob. Next, in output data set, you should not check out like first row as header, and delimiter you need to specify. You should not leave it as a default. Okay, with those options, if you run pipeline, this data will be loaded into this particular folder. So who is going to do all these things? Azure integration runtime ADF will manage all these things. Next, so let's say copy data from REST API to ADLS Gen2. Sorry, what is this? By mistake, I think. 1 second. Yeah, you see, copy data from Snowflake to ADLS Gen2. If it is ADLS Gen2, you see here, you have a Snowflake table, you have ADLS Gen2. So create a linked service. Okay. Next, input data set. Then you have copy activity, output data set you can create, and you can say linked service for Azure Data Lake Storage Gen2. So linker service for Azure Data Lake Storage Gen2 can be a account key or whatever. The reason is you are not loading data from Snowflake to the ADLS Gen2 directly. Okay, so when you execute, it will not come directly into the ADLS Gen2. It will be loaded into staging layer. From the staging layer, data will be loaded into ADLS Gen2. But in copy activity, you will use source data set as this, input data set, sync data set is output data set. Okay, now use Azure integration runtime, and finally we are going to use the Azure Data Factory, which is going to manage all these things. Okay, now example, you see. Okay, see here, overview diagram for ADLS Gen2 to Snowflake, how I will load. This is my data lake storage Gen2. This data will be loaded into the Blob storage. From the Blob storage, data will be loaded into the Snowflake. It will not come directly data from ADLS Gen2 to the Snowflake. It is not possible. There is no direct connector. Understood, friends? Next, overview diagram for Snowflake to ADLS Gen2. See, you have a Snowflake here. You have Blob storage, data lake storage Gen2. Copy data from Snowflake to the Blob storage. Then from Blob storage, you need to copy into the data lake storage Gen2. Okay, understood. From Snowflake to Blob, Blob to ADLS Gen2. You cannot copy directly data from Snowflake to ADLS Gen2, friends. Okay, fine. This is how pipeline execution will look like. Now estimations. So how many linker service? We are going to create Blob storage linker service, ADLS Gen2 linker service, Snowflake linker service. How many data sets depends on reference points. If you are going to use a, if you are simply copying, if it is allowing direct copy, then you need only source data set, sync data set. But if you are using staging layer, then you need to use staging data set as well. How many activities? Copy activity is required to copy data from Snowflake to ADLS Gen2 and vice versa. Even if you want to copy data from ADLS Gen2 to the Snowflake, also you need a copy activity. How many pipelines? I will create one pipeline. What type of IR we need to use to copy data from Snowflake to ADLS Gen2 and vice versa. So we need Azure integration runtime. Prerequisite, we should have a knowledge on Snowflake, Blob storage, ADLS storage, Gen2, keyword, scheduled trigger, Azure data factory integration runtime types, linked service dataset activity and pipeline. So all these things we are aware. So let's go to required resources. Snowflake we are going to create, then data lake storage Gen2, Blob storage, Key Vault, and Azure Data Factory V2. So let's go and create a Snowflake first. Okay, so as Pawan is mentioning, right, there are a lot of calls on Snowflake. If anybody wants to explore more things, I'll just give you an idea. You can able to explore first. Please let me know if you have any doubts. Okay, when you are learning, that's okay. So these are the slides I have. So what I will do, let's come here. Okay, come here. You just have to say, see, easiest way is you cannot remember the URLs and all, right? You say Snowflake free trial. Okay, here you see signup.snowflake.com will come. Just click on this. Okay, it will ask you to enter your first name. Let me enter my first name, my last name, my mail ID. I will just say cloudpundit@gmail.com. Company name, I will say Cloud Pandit. Country, you just select India. Okay. No, I don't want to Snowflake to send me email about products and all those things. So I'm just checking. No, I don't want. Okay. Click continue. So see here, choose your Snowflake edition. So you have standard, enterprise, business critical. So this is basically for your learning. Then you can go with standard. Okay, if you want for development environment or for testing something, you can go with the, in real-time project you want to do some kind of a POC and all, you can go with enterprise. For production loads, you can go with business critical. Okay, that is up to you. Okay, client will select, but let's go with the standard. Okay, we will go with standard. Now as I mentioned, it will allow you to select the cloud, in which cloud you want to host. Choose your cloud provider, in which cloud you want to host this particular thing. Okay, don't worry, this is a 30-day free trial. Okay, see, gain immediate access to data cloud, enable your most critical data workloads, scale instantly, elastically, and near infinity across public cloud. Snowflake is some all these SOC2 type complaint. These all are the security certificates. Okay, so it is very secure. Do not worry about that security. So we have AWS, Google Cloud, and Azure. So what we will go? Let's go with Azure. No issue. You can go with this anything. Okay, you no need to have anything. Okay, just click on Azure. I want to go with Azure. So in Azure, in which region you want to host this particular Snowflake? I want to go and host it in East US 2. Check here to indicate you have read and agree the terms. Okay, you need to check this. Click Get Started. Okay, account setup in progress. You can see your account setup may take a few minutes while you are waiting. See, an email to activate your account has been sent to cloudpundit@gmail.com. So I need to open this particular mail ID. Let me open that. Yes, sorry, I was in mute. Okay, so I just provided username and password. Now I just submitted. Now you see I am inside Snowflake. Okay, this is the Snowflake. So if you see, this is the selected option. That's why you are able to see some worksheet here. Okay, and these are the databases we have. Okay, this is the data warehouse. In this, you just select the, see, this is the warehouse, compute_ws. Okay, if you want to resize all those things, you can able to do. If you want to resume, pause, all those things you can able to do. Now select, see here you have, these are the databases. Now what I want to do, I want to create a new database. So there are multiple ways we know we can able to find the query. Otherwise, just click on databases, click create. See, these are the databases we have. I want to create a new database, just click create. So give the database name. I will say Cloud Pandit DB, Cloud Pandit DB. Comments if you want to give, you can say to do analytics on batch data. Click finish. Anything. Okay. Oh, sorry, I forgot to show you one thing. Let's say, let me just try to create one more database. See, database is created. Cloud Pandit DB just created. Let's say here you will say Cloud Pandit DB1. Okay. Now let's say this is test DW. Okay. Click show SQL. So this is the query in backend. This is executing. Create database name. So if you want to give comment, you can give. If you're not giving any comment, this line will not come. This is not mandatory. But this is the query. It is going to execute in backend when you just give this particular information from the UI. You understood? You can able to see what queries it is going to execute. Fine. Now you see this, the database is available. In this database, I want to create a tables. Just click on the database. These all things I am doing it from UI. It is the easiest thing that you can do. Now these are the tables. You see, you don't have any tables because you just now created this database. Click create table. Okay. So table name I will say custom table, and in which schema this particular table you want to keep in a public. Next, columns I want to add. Click add to create the column. First column is CID, or you can say cust_ID. Cust_ID of type what? This is the drop down. You just select, see how easy it is. Do you want a null values? Not null. Just select not null. Click add. Do something like this. Cust_name. Okay. Just click this. This is of type string. Click here. Cust location. Okay, string. Not null. Okay. With these three columns, I'm just see show SQL. How it is creating. See create table. In this database, in this schema, this is the table. In this table, this is the first column, integer type, not null. This is second column, string, not null. First location, string, not null. Okay, click close, then click finish. Table is created. I hope you are able to understand, right? Let's say now data, I want to load it. So you have a load option to load data. But I want to load data from SQL, directly SQL I want to use. Just click on worksheet. Okay. Here, see the database which we have created, it is not showing here. Just refresh this. So when I refresh, you can able to see. Just click on this. You will see the schema, information schema, public schema. Inside public schema, we have created a table. Okay. Now let's say I want to create EMP table. Okay, manually with some query, I will create a EMP table. Create EMP. Okay, employee underscore ID int, employee underscore name varchar. Varchar you can use. I think you can also use string. Okay, let's see whether string will work when we are writing manually. EMP underscore location. Okay, let's run it. So it is throwing error, use database, use qualified name. Yeah. So because in which database you want to create this particular table. So for that, see, this is the data warehouse. You need to see, you have multiple databases. You need to select database. Click on it. So select the database on which database you want to do on Cloud Pandit DB. Okay, select it. Now run this. See, the table EMP successfully created. Here you can put string or varchar. Okay, fine, anything is fine. Now, what I want to do here, refresh it. Just go to public. See here you have some search option. It's basically refresh. Click on this. See EMP table came. Okay, you understood. So if you click on the table, you will see the columns list here. EMP ID, EMP name, EMP location. The like ID column number 38,0. Okay, and varchar. So max size it will take. Okay, that is one thing. Next thing is click on cust to see cust columns. So these are the cust columns. Now what I want to do, I want to insert records into customer table. Insert into cust values are 1 comma. Okay, something like this, and you run it. See, first one, number of rows inserted is 3. You don't see here one row. How come only one row is affected? This is just going to give you some information. This row, it is telling the number of rows inserted is 3. Okay, let's see. Okay, let's try to, let's say, now what I wanted to do, let's select the data. Select star from cust and run it. You will see the data. Here you see cust ID, okay, cust name, cust location. You understood these 3 records. Row number, you can see how many rows we have. You will come to know. There are 3 rows. See now there are 3 rows. Clear, friends? Now Out of all these things, what is important? The important is, so this table is available where? Click on this database, you will come to know warehouse is compute underscore WS. Database is Cloud Pandit DB. Schema is public. Table name is cust. These four information is important. Then you need a, see, in Azure Data Factory, if you want to connect to the Azure, from Azure Data Factory, if you want to connect to the Snowflake, you need to use only this much. Okay, this is the account name, in which location, whether it is in Azure or AWS, it is in Azure. So only this much you need to give, only this much. Okay, okay, fine. So, but our first service that we need is ready, right? Clear, friends? Our Snowflake account is available. Let's go to the now Azure portal.azure.com. Let's create blob storage and other stuff. Okay. Now let's click on storage account. Click add to create the storage account. Yeah, subscription is free trial. Resource group is Cloud Pandit BI Master Program. Storage account name, you can say Cloud Pandit Store Cloud Pandit Blob. Today data I will give, it will be easy for us to uniquely identify, because I have some other storages with Cloud Pandit Blob Store and all those things. Just to identify these things, I'm giving like this. Oh, I don't want to use the existing resource group. Let's create a new resource group. Cloud Pandit BA Master Program 1. Click OK. So this is the storage account name, is2s2. Clear, friends? And you see storage v2. Okay, read access, geo redundance, all those things we discussed. It's a block storage. Just click review, press create. Create it. Let's come here. Let's create ADLS Gen2. 1 second. Okay, so let's create the storage v2. Pre-trial resource group is the one which we have created. Cloud Pandit BI Master Program 1. Storage account name, right? Cloud Pandit ADLS v2 total. So networking, we know all these things. In advanced, come down. So data lake storage Gen2. Okay, click review, press create. These two. Okay, fine. Now come to next tab. You see here, yeah, this is ready. This is also we submitted. Yes. Come to third tab. Let's create here Azure keyword. We have Snowflake is ready, Blob is ready, data lake storage Gen2 is ready. Now let's create a Azure Data Factory. Let's click on Data Factories. Click add to create the Data Factory. Free trial is this. Free trial resource group is this, and ADF name I will say Cloud Pandit BI ADF v2 total. Click Git configuration. I will configure it later. Click Review plus Create. Create it. Let's go to the one more tab, portal.azure.com. Let's create our Azure keyword. Okay, that this is our final service that we need for today. Click on keywords. Click add to create the Azure keyword. Free trial. Research group is this one. And Azure keyword name is a cloud and AKV total. Click access policies. Let's add the ADF here itself, add access policy. So full access I'm granting to my ADF. Click selected. So what is the data factory name? The data factory name is the data factory name cloud only BI ADF V2 total. Select it, click select, come down, click add this, then review plus click. It is going to validate all the details. If everything is fine, it will enable us to create this particular keyword. Create. Okay, now you see data factory created, storage, ADLS Gen2 created, Blob storage created. Now Azure keyword is also going to create. Okay, so data factory is available, right? Let's open this data factory meanwhile. Click author and monitor. Okay, we are here. Now click on this Azure keyword ready. Go to resource. Now let's add all the secrets one by one. First, I will store Snowflake password. Okay, Snowflake shortcut SF. Okay, PWD password shortcut is PWD. Let's keep the password here. Let's create it. Sorry. Generate / import. Let's keep now ADLS Gen2 key. ADLS Gen2 key I need to bring. Go to data lake storage Gen2. Go to resource. This is ADLS V2. Okay. Go to access keys. So you know connection string will not work here. So what you need to do is you need to use this particular key you need to store. Okay. Come here. Keep that particular key here. Create it. Okay. Now generate / import. I want to keep now blob connection string. Blob connection string. So how to put blob connection string? Come to here. Go to resource. Go to access keys. So click show keys. And so these are the connection string. Copy keys. So whatever I copied, that connection string, I will keep it here in Azure. Let's create it. Okay. Now all these things you know as of now. Fine. Let's go to Azure Data Factory. Go to Manage tab. Let's create it. First linked service to your Azure keyword. Let's create a linked service to your Azure keyword. Create Azure keyword. Click LS. This is basically LS for Azure keyword. From subscription, there is the subscription. Are we going to, yeah, so just select which one we created today, total a test connection. So there is a managed identity. Automatically Azure keyword we can able to access because we have added ADF in the Azure keyword created. Publish all. So this particular linked service we need to publish, then only we can able to use this linked service in other linked services. We know if you want to read any secret from Azure keyword, we need to use this particular linked service in other linked services. Okay. Let's wait for some 10 seconds. Okay, let's connect to the our blob storage first. blob storage, Azure blob storage, click continue. This is ADLS for ABS Azure blob storage. So oh shit. I mentioned earlier, but I made the mistake. That is, I stored the account key. Account key will not work, right? So you need to go with the SaaS URI. Okay. So for that, what I need to do, I need to keep the SaaS URI. I need to keep the SaaS URI, or at least I need to keep the SaaS token. Okay. So what we will do, let's keep at least a SaaS token in our Azure Guild. Now come back to the Blob store. How to create SaaS? Come to shared access signature. You need to select service container. I want to allow everything to access by using this SaaS key. Just click generate SaaS and connection string. So token means this is the token. Copy this token. Okay, copy that particular token and come here. What is this? Blob connection string. Yeah, let it be. We will not use blob SaaS token. Okay, I'm just storing blob SaaS token. Create it. Now come back to. Okay, that's okay. Name is okay. So SaaS URI. This URI, I will just paste it. URL, I will paste it. Come to blob storage. See, blob URL means till here .net. Okay, copy till here. Come to data factory. Paste this SaaS URL. Okay. Now SaaS token, I need to get it from the Azure Vault. Come here. Just select the linked service which we have created. Secret name B blob SaaS. So what is the secret name? SaaS token. SaaS token. Okay. So I have given. Let's test the connection. Create it. Okay. Now I also want to create a linked service for Blob with account key because I need to show you it's not working, right? So that's why LS for ABS with account key. The account key. Just go to Azure keyword. This one secret name is Blob connection string. Let's test the connection. So I'm using the existing connection string as well. It is successful. You can create it. Let's create a linked service for Gen2, ADLS Gen2. Select Azure Data Lake Storage Gen2. Click continue. This is basically LS for ADLS Gen2. Resource group account key. Yes. Subscription is this. Storage account name. Which one, friends? So if you go with subscription, it won't allow you to read anything from the Azure keyword. You need to go with manual entry. Azure keyword. In Azure keyword, you just select keyword linked service. Secret name. What is the secret name? Come here. ADLS Gen2 key. Okay, there is the secret name. I need to provide here. Then storage name. What is the storage name? Come here. Take the storage name. Okay, come here. You need to say https :/ this is the storage name .dfs .core.windows.net. Okay, you already know this. All these things we discussed in detail. Okay, so whatever is new today, I will just discuss little bit slow. Okay, great. Let's create a new linked service for Snowflake. Now you just say Snowflake. Okay, this is the Snowflake. Just click Snowflake, click continue. This is LS underscore Snowflake. Okay, linked service for Snowflake, auto resolve integration time. See, account name dot east US 2 dot Azure. Okay, something like that you need to give. Come here, come to your Azure keyword. You see, sorry, your Snowflake. As I mentioned, from Azure to till here, this is your account name. Copy this particular thing. Come here, just paste it here. Next, username. You remember our username is Cloud Funded. Our username is Cloud Funded. password, I need to read it from the keyword. Okay, just select the secret name. What is the secret name to read password? SFPWD. Just give here secret version. We don't give database. What is the database? Come to here, click on this. What is the database, friends? Cloud Pandit DB. Come here, let me just give here Cloud Pandit DB. Okay, so warehouse, this is also mandatory. What is the warehouse? You see compute underscore ws is the warehouse. Come here, I just say compute underscore wh. Let's put any doubts, friends, in this? You understood how I got account name, username and password, and the database and warehouse. Everything is clear. Any doubts? Murli, Vinod, Pavan, Ratnaraj. Clear, Sudhir?
Clear, sir.
Bharat. Okay, everybody's clear, right? So very simple. This is account name. Account name, how I got? Account name, I just got it from here. You see, this is the account name. So from till Azure, whatever you have, this you need to copy and paste it here. I just copy and paste. Username, you know, right? When you have created account, we set the username. That username I entered here. Password I stored in a keyword and I'm referring. My database name is nothing but come here. You just see in which database you want to connect. This is the database. This database is available in which warehouse. You can see compute underscore ws. Okay. So all these details I entered and I tested the connection. Connection successful. You can create it. Okay. So once we have everything available, now come to author tab. Okay, now you just click on pipeline, create a pipeline. This pipeline is basically here. Okay, I'll just use the staging layer. Okay, now you see here for data movement from ADLS Gen2, ADLS, not ADLS. Let's say from PL for data from Snowflake to ADLS Gen2. Okay, you cannot load data from Snowflake to ADLS Gen2 directly. Just to drag the copy data, I will show you. So first you need to create the Snowflake dataset. Just click new. This is a Snowflake. Click continue. This is what? This is a PS for Snowflake as a source. Linked services. This is the linked service. Table name. Let's select the table name. That is our first table, right? We have a first table. Let's select the first table which we have created. Select first table and click OK. Okay, let's go to the sink. So my sink is, I'll say my data lake storage Gen2, data lake. Just select Gen2, ADLS Gen2. So as a CS, I want to load the data. So this is basically ADLS Gen2 as a sink. Use the linked service, that is this. And this particular folder, I will say this is Snowflake data. Okay, first row as header, you can select. And from connection, all these things, this particular folder is not available. You cannot import the schema. Click none, click OK. Okay. So out of all these things, you just try to debug, you will see multiple errors. What is the error it is saying? A direct copying data from Snowflake is only supported when sync data set is delimited text, Parquet or JSON with Azure Blob storage. If it is a Azure Blob storage, then only direct copy is possible. Otherwise, other data set or linked service required staging layer. Okay, we need to enable the staging. Okay, let's enable staging. So here, first thing, I will just extension for my CSV. My output files is .csv. Come to settings to enable staging. Click on enable staging. So to enable the staging, you need to use the blob storage. If you use account key, it will not work. You need to use the SAS URI. Storage path. Storage path is you need to create the temp path. Okay, in blob storage, I will create a staging folder. Okay, you can say staging, uh, staging path or staging container. Okay, this is the name I'm creating. In this container, I will store my sample data, like my staging data. Okay, refresh this. Is already in use, but where is that? What is happening? Click on containers. Yeah, so it is created. Now come to data factory. Now provide that particular container, staging container. Okay, that's all you need to do. Once you are done that, just try to debug once again. Now you see, when you enable the staging, so there is no issue. When you enable the staging, there is no issue. You understood? So that's why we need to enable the staging, friends. Click on this to see the execution flow. See, copying data from Snowflake to Blob storage successful. Blob to data lake storage Gen2 also successful. Let's go to data lake storage Gen2. Whether data came or not, you will be able to see. Click on this containers. See, spelling mistake, Snowflake data. So data came CSV. Now click edit. You will be able to see those three records which have inserted. See those three records which have inserted in the customer table came here. Okay. This is working. Okay, first pipeline is successful. Okay, this pipeline is successful. Let's publish this pipeline. Let's publish. Now I want to do it in a reverse way. Okay, let's create a new pipeline. Click new pipeline. Okay, so I don't want to use the existing data sets and I don't want to confuse you. That's why I'll create a new PL underscore data underscore ADLS Gen2 to Snowflake. Okay, from storage to Snowflake, I want to move the data. Now, click on source. Let's create new. Okay, this is basically, I will say, a Gen2. This is a Gen2. Create data lake storage Gen2. As your source, I have CSV files. And you can say this is DS4 ADLS Gen2 as a source. Use this link service and browse it. Select that particular file. If you have multiple files, what you will do, you will use wildcard option. If you have a multiple files, what you will do, you will use wildcard option. Otherwise, if you have single file, you will select it. First was at the click none. Okay. So when you are loading, yeah, let it be. Anyhow, you are going to use staging layer. Click OK. Now come to sync. Click new. So this is Snowflake. Select Snowflake. Click continue. So this is DS for Snowflake. DS for Snowflake sync. Use this linker service. A table name is, I'll just use the same table, that is our cust table. Click OK. You know, when I just run it, what will happen when I run this? It will throw error. The reason is we need to enable staging. Okay, so I need to enable staging. Come to settings. Click on the enable staging. Use the linked service SAS URI. Account key will not work as we discussed. Browse it. So this is the path I need to use to load data as a intermediate layer. Okay. With this, first come to here. Let's select the customer table. What data we have in customer table? Check it. Select the star from first and run it. Now you see you have 3 records. When I run the pipeline, you will see 6 records because 3 more records will be loaded into the data. Now you just debug it. It is in progress. Just click on this. See, data already succeeded from data lake storage Gen2 to the Blob storage. From Blob storage to Snowflake, it is loading data now. So this is also successful. This is also successful. Now, if you come to Snowflake, run this query, you'll be able to see now 6 records. Are you able to see 6 records or not? Yes, it is possible. Now it is working. Okay. These two we are done. Now let's create a new pipeline. Let's publish all this. What I wanted to do, I want to download this file. I want to download this file. Okay. This is a file I just downloaded, data 000. Okay. I just downloaded. I want to upload this file in a blob storage. From blob storage, I will load same data into my customer table. We'll see that. Okay, this is the one. You can say anything. This is just give it a emp.csv. Okay, fine. Now come to blob storage. So in blob storage, not only for the staging, I want to keep some data here. Here I will say cloud pandit. So this is a folder, cloud pandit. Okay. Click create. So when you don't want to use the staging, you upload the file and that file should not have the headers. When you are not using the staging layer, your file should not have the headers, because if you have a headers in the file, you cannot load this data. Okay, that's why you open this file, you check if you have any headers. If you have any headers, please remove those things. Okay, let's remove those things. Yes, you have headers, remove this. If you have headers, still I want to load, then what you need to do? You need to use the staging layer. We have seen the issues and all these things, right? Earlier we have seen all the issues that we have faced. All right, so these are the emp.csv. Now come here, data factory. Now click new pipeline. This pipeline is basically to load data from Blob to Snowflake. Okay, let's say TL data Blob to SF Snowflake. Okay, now click move, copy data. So what is your source here? Source is my Blob storage. Okay, let's select a Blob storage. Click continue. CSV file. This is basically BS for Azure Blob storage as a source. Use the link service. If you use account key, you will get error. We have seen that already. Click on this. Let's select Cloud Pandit. In this, I have this file. Let's select this emp.csv. Click OK. So you cannot say first row is header because you don't have any headers. Okay. You should not select first row as header. Okay. Remember. Next. Click OK. If you have any headers, what you need to do? You need to use the staging layer, but I am not checking I don't have any headers. That's why I have configured. Now open this data set. What else you need to do? Auto detect will not work. You need to select a particular delimiter. Auto detect delimiter will not work. Okay, I selected that. Okay, so these three things I have done. Come to sync. Sync side, what you can do, you can use the existing Snowflake sync. Okay, same Snowflake sync will work. If you are not fine, then you can create a Snowflake dataset once again. Okay. You can use the existing, but for easy understanding, I'm creating separately. SF as a sync to use this. Select the table list. First, select this public dot first. Okay, click OK. See, I'm not using any staging layer because I am maintaining without staging how I can load all those options I'm using. Like first was header I removed, and I am using SAS URI and auto detect role delimiter. I change it to the fixed delimiter. Okay, now you just debug, it will work. Now you come to Snowflake here. Okay, run it and see the total rows. We have 6 rows. Now once this is successful, you will see 9 rows because 3 more records we are writing. This is also successful. Now come here and run it. You see 9 rows. You see 9 rows. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Okay. Now I want to do it in a reverse. Okay, let's create a new pipeline. This is data Snowflake to Blob. Snowflake to Blob. Do same copy data activity. Okay, source is what? Source is your Snowflake. Click continue. This is the final pipeline for today, right? So let's say yes for Snowflake final. Let's select existing linked service. You can select the table. Which table data you want to move? I want to move the custom table data. Just select custom table. We're done. Let's go to sync. Sync is what? Sync is blob store. Select blob. How you want to load? CSV. Click continue. This is what? DS, ABS. It's final. Use the existing linked service, Azure Blob Storage, SAS URI. Container, I will create a new container, or let's try to use the existing container. I want to load data into Cloud Pandit itself. In Cloud Pandit, we have already file called emp.csv. So what I will do, I will create a new file. The file which I want to create is cust.csv. Okay. First row as header, yes, I will check it. First row as header. Okay, these all things okay. So what else we need to do is we need to go to the sync data set. Yeah, we don't have this file. You cannot select none. Okay, so go inside the sync data set. Auto detect row delimiter, you need to change it to the fixed delimiter, that is line feed something. Okay, go to SF to blob. Let's debug this. Let's wait for 1 minute. Okay, so within 1 minute it should be, yeah, it is already successful. Let's see. Now come to blob storage, refresh this. The cust.csv file came. Click edit. You see all the 9 records came. You understood? Okay,
Yes, Malaya.
fine. So now let's say you want to execute all these things at once. What you will do? You want to execute maybe one by one pipeline. First, I want to run pipeline from, yeah, come here. So I want to run first pipeline from Snowflake to ADLS Gen2, then ADLS Gen2 to the Snowflake, then Blob to Snowflake, Snowflake to Blob. All these pipelines I want to execute one by one. So what is the way how you will do that?
Execute pipeline you can use.
Okay, you will create a master pipeline. In this, you will have a something called general. So in interview, people will ask, so how you can execute? You have a multiple pipelines. I want to execute other pipelines based on the one pipeline execution. If this pipeline successfully executed, then I want to execute this. If this is successfully executed, then I want to execute this. If this is successfully executed, then I want to execute this. Okay, something like this. Now right click auto align. It will be aligned properly. So select one by one pipeline. First pipeline you select. The first pipeline is something like, you can say Snowflake to ADLS Gen2. Then come here. What is this? This is ADLS Gen2 to Snowflake. Then third pipeline is Blob to SF. Fourth pipeline is SF to Blob. Okay. Let's publish all. Click publish. Okay, I want to create a trigger. Click new / edit trigger. What is time now? 9:08. Let's trigger our pipeline at 9:10. Close window. Schedule trigger. Okay. 9:10 I will run. Okay. Every 15 minutes I want to run, but in which time zone? Okay, India time zone. Every 15 minutes, specify end date. End date is maybe today itself till 10 o'clock something. Click OK, then click OK. Click OK. Publisher. This pipeline is going to run at 9:10. We'll see. Still we have 30 seconds. Meanwhile, it will publish and it will start running. Okay, this is also very important interview question. That's why I'm trying to cover in multiple sessions. Okay, people will ask. This you can achieve it in different way. What is the other way, friends? What is the other way we discussed? Tell me what is the other way? How you can run another pipeline on success of one pipeline. Okay, let's say I want to run pipeline 2 on success of pipeline 1. How you can do other way? This is one way. What is the other way? Triggers. Which trigger we need to use?
Tumbling window trigger you can use.
Okay, yes, tumbling window trigger we need to use. Okay. See, pipeline 1 started. So first pipeline it is running Snowflake to ADLS Gen2. Once that is successful, then it will execute another pipeline. Okay, one by one pipeline it is going to execute. Any questions, friends? Any questions? The first pipeline is successful. ADLS Gen2 means let's go to the Azure Data Lake Storage Gen2. Let's verify file came. This file, same file, because we are not changing the file name. See, this is the file which is modified at 9:10 and the size is increased because we have a lot of data in Snowflake table, right? So all the data will be loaded into this particular file. You can see that. That's okay, it is taking more time, but you just refresh here. The second pipeline also successful, ADLS to Snowflake. Now, if you go back to Snowflake, if you just select start from cast, you will see a lot of records. Now you see total 21 records. Okay. Next, it is running. Yeah, Blob to Snowflake also successful. Now it is doing finally Snowflake to Blob. Yeah, everything is successful, friends. Okay, so this is how you can able to copy data from Snowflake to Data Lake Storage Gen2, Data Lake Storage Gen2 to the Snowflake, Blob to Snowflake, Snowflake to Blob. So, but we also know how you can do multiple table copy, multiple files copy. Okay, incremental file copy, incremental table copy, okay, incremental multiple table copy, incremental multiple file copy, right? So everything we discussed in detail. Okay. Tomorrow we will see, we will talk about Cosmos DB, friends. Okay, we will see tomorrow Cosmos DB.
Malaya Ratnaj here.
Tell me.
This is regarding Azure account subscription. Yesterday I posted.
1 second, let me stop the recording. We'll discuss.